Today, we're going to take our 6x10 covered wagon trailer to get a little undercoating treatment. And to give it the planetary experience that it deserves, we're taking it to Mars. Yes, I did say to Mars. Stay tuned to find out why. Nope. Yep.
Dibs.
Yes, I did say to Mars for an undercoating experience, and here's why. I bought this trailer in Texas, however it was transported here, not by flatbed, but actually towed behind a pickup. So between the time it left the factory and transported to Texas, sat in a lot for a few months, and then towed a couple thousand miles to Montana, there's bound to be a little bit of pixie dust or other mystery bits adorning the underside. So what we're going to do is spritz a little water under here to blast off any contaminants, thus giving the undercoating a better chance to adhere. You might find it a little bit odd that we're doing this amongst all this cattail fluff, but in my neighborhood, this is completely normal. I want to make sure we hit all these nooks and crannies, anywhere there could be a bit of dirt or grease hanging out, so we'll just take our time and really get this thing sprayed down. If nothing else, at least we'll have a nice frozen ice floor. The lows are way under freezing temperatures, so we'll let this dry for a couple days just to make sure we get as much moisture out as possible. Before we take this thing on up to Mars, I want to protect this wiring. Even though we're going to be ripping most of it out, I want to ensure we can still see the colors. Not necessary, but it might make it a little bit easier to match up the wiring harness later. This has got to be the cheapest plastic wire loom I've ever used. It just kind of collapses when you put even the slightest pressure on it. Well, this took way longer than it should have, but hey, we're done now. Let's get this thing hitched up and ready for an early morning launch.
Got positive foliage. Prepare for a liftoff. And ignition. Houston, we've already arrived at Mars.
And it was a lot closer than I thought it would be. Given my past experience here before, I know that the folks here will be taking real good care of our adventure trailer. I can't wait to see the results. Let's jettison our load and we'll be back on our way to Earth.
Over.
And here it is. It's all complete. Yes, my friends at Mars did an exceptional job. The project was a bit different from what they regularly do because, well, it's a cargo trailer, but because of its compact size and newness, they were able to take it in and put it up on their lift. But I mean, look at this. I was admiring the uniform spray and how every corner is covered. It's quite impressive. And now that the coating is installed, I can breathe easy, knowing that the StableDeck and the steel frame is protected from the elements. You may remember from our last film, I was concerned about the premature chipping and rusting of the tongue. Well, the good folks at Mars took care of that too. In order to protect the body from overspray, they had to completely mask off the entire nose of the trailer, similar to how vehicles are masked off for paint. Pay no attention to these chips. I stood on it for a thumbnail photo for another video while it still hadn't fully cured. They also took good care not to get any spray on the moving mechanisms, including this crank handle over here, or on this coupler latch. And down here, this tag was completely masked off to preserve its integrity. I am more than pleased with the results, knowing that I have taken action to preserve my purchase, and it gives that extra comfort that I've done everything I can do to make it last as long as possible into the future. Only one question remains. What is this antenna thing? Is it a transmitter to Mars?
Boing.
And that's all we have time for today, but stay tuned because we've just begun this adventure. Once the weather warms up a bit, we're heading inside to start our interior transformation. If you've enjoyed this film, please consider giving us a thumbs up. Meanwhile, stay tuned, my Squatchologists, and we'll see you next time.